Good morning, everyone. It is 11:30, so I'll get started and hopefully we can get through all these slides. But really, I only have a couple slides here. Most of this talk, I want to do a demo about an AI product we've been developing. My name is Mike DeLeon. I'm a solutions architect with Sealing Technologies. I've been here for about 7.5 years now, 6 of it doing systems engineering, integration type work, training, development, automation type stuff. And the last 1.5 years, I've moved over to the business development, and I've been doing solutions for the DoD for across the different branches. But SealingTech's been in business for about 12 years now, and then July 2023, we were acquired by the Parsons Corporation. I really focus on the defensive cyberspace for the DoD. I'd say about 95% of our work is DoD based, and the last 5 is Warfighter kind of stuff. So really, we do the end-to-end lifecycle management of the flyaway kits for the different cyber protection teams throughout the different branches of the DoD. We manufacture the hardware, we provide the software, we do integration work, automation, testing, training, and then the whole sustainment maintenance kind of thing. So we have our hands in a bunch of different areas for kind of defensive cyber and computing. On the other side, we also have a software development branch that does like cross-domain solutions and secure computing for HPCs. So really we have a bunch of different areas we focus in, and then we're nested under the cyber warfare division within Parsons, if you're familiar. So our claim to fame, so to speak, is we manufacture the small form factor flyaway kits, the CPTs as I was saying. This is kind of a list of a lot of our different products that we sell. We range from kind of small power, small compute sensors with our SN3100 line, all the way up to massive kind of high compute, high storage nodes for like hyper-converged infrastructure, VMware clusters, stuff like that for more VMs and computing and storage and stuff. But the one I really kind of want to focus on today and kind of inspired the ideas and engineering for our AI tool is the one in the middle. It's the GN7000. So we've been getting a lot of requests from customers to do AI at the edge. And it's kind of challenging to integrate a full-size GPU into something that's TSA and TAA carry-on compliant for the flyaway kits. So having the data at your fingertips, never checking it, you always have positive data control of the systems has been a challenge for a lot of our customers, and it's one that we really excel at providing solutions for. So this one really kind of kick-started our AI journey. About a year ago, we started really looking at how can we develop software to complement our hardware for our customers and empower their mission based on the challenges and the things we see with working with them every day. So some of the challenges we kind of see for our cyber warfighters, for our cyber protection teams, is that there's a distinct knowledge gap between our junior operators and then our senior operators, and the training they receive just isn't enough a lot of the times to do kind of the heavy lifting for a lot of threat hunting, incident response type activities. And we've seen where a lot of the newer people, they come in and they have more of an analyst focus rather than an engineering focus. So a lot of the more senior operators will have more of that like systems engineering, network engineering experience, so they can customize a lot of the tools and the architectures and stuff to meet their mission needs. But the problem with the junior ones is they often know what they're there to do, they just don't know the how. So we're trying to bridge the gap between a junior analyst who wants to go in and look for some indicators of compromise or maybe a new threat actor or something like that. And we want to give them tools to really empower them to do their mission, and then help them automate some of the more tedious tasks that they do every day. So that's kind of where we got the idea for this. And then the other big driver for this is that for a lot of the AI tools that happen in the cloud, you can't be leaking data back and forth, right? Everyone's familiar with ChatGPT. We don't put our sensitive data in ChatGPT because it's learning from it, right? So we need something at the edge where our data isn't going to be leaked. It's self-contained in that box that I showed you a couple slides ago, and then it works with the CPTs, with the tools that they already have. So for that, this was our general vision for this AI tool. We really wanted something where you could chat with it in natural language, so you could just put in chat that's human readable to you and I. But then on the back end, the AI tool would take that chat and translate it into intelligence and really collect data from a lot of feeds, so it can use that intelligence to actually interact with the environment it's been placed in. So stuff like sensor data, analytics data, threat intelligence reports, and then mission data is really important for us to not just create a ChatGPT at the edge. we wanted something that could actually interact with that environment, right? And that's where we really see a lot of the use cases and the benefit for AI for our cyber warfighters, is being able to leverage it with the existing tools that they have and start pulling mission data together between these tools and really creating an AI application that doesn't just work with Splunk or Elastic or whatever. It really integrates with a lot of different things, and then it can share intelligence between those tools. So that's where we came up with the idea for Operator X. So this is a generative AI application using large language models and retrieval augmented generation. So really this is designed to be an offline-based cyber tool for cyber warfighters. And it's leveraging Meta's Llama 3.1 model. It's open source. You can run it completely offline within a single full-sized NVIDIA GPU at the edge. So that was really important to us to condense the form factor so we can fit on one of those nodes, and you only have to take out one to really do your mission set for your AI tools. Additionally, it's using that RAG pipeline for document ingest. So you can upload files to it, presentations, Word documents, PDFs, stuff like that with threat intelligence, or maybe there'll be like manuals and stuff for your tools and your mission set. So you can upload these documents and these kind of worksheets, and then it will read all of that, ingest that data, index it, and then you can chat with it just like you can ChatGPT. So you can ask it questions about your documents, do a lot of stuff like that, and it really speeds up the process for getting information from those documents because it could be hundreds of pages long. So these are sort of the tools of the trade we're using for this tool. Again, we're using large language models. It's like the brain of everything. You give it a question, it spits out an answer based on what it knows. But really, we're fine-tuning these models to be focused on cyber defense. So we're using low-rank adaptation, aka LoRa. And this is really bolt-ons for hyper-specific domain information. So things like Splunk, Elastic, VMware, Nmap, Suricata, stuff like that, we consider that like a domain. So really you can take a model, train it, and then start bolting on these domains, and it gets really good at talking with Splunk or Elastic or whatever, right? So once you train it and you get that intelligence into these bolt-ons, you can add it back into the LLM, and then you can start interacting with those tools kind of natively. And then lastly, again, we're using the Retrieval Augmented Generation for uploading the files and being able to chat with those files. And then that's where the agents come in and we can start interacting with the tools that our operators are using every day. So with that, I'm going to get done with these slides, and I want to show you an actual live demo of our tool running in the lab. So to begin, I'm going to kind of set the stage for this really specific use case for Operator X. We see a junior analyst gets like a threat intelligence report. So I have a Word doc here. This is a made-up one made by our engineers in the lab, right? But this could be an example of like a threat intelligence document. And it's pretty dense, right? It's got a lot of good information in it, but as an analyst, I don't have time to look at all this. I might have 10 of these at a time, and I need to upload all these and be able to pull out specific pieces of information very quickly. So I'm going to start here. This is the Operator X UI. Again, it's just like a web application you can chat with. It's got a chat box. It's got a couple different features here. But I'm going to start out with uploading this document into it from the Files tab. And it's going to ingest this document and kind of read it, categorize it. Right now it's indexing it, so it's kind of going through, getting all the information, pulling it apart, so you can start chatting with it. And then once it's indexed, we can tag it. So a big thing we're kind of pushing here is being able to tag our different data sources, right? So I only have one document in here, but you could have hundreds, and you want to start categorizing those based on different mission sets, maybe different threat actors. If I have some manuals and stuff that I could correlate and start tagging these. So I'm going to select it here, and then I'm going to go over here and be able to assign a tag to it. So for this threat actor, their name is Eclipse Phantom, kind of made up thing we came up with. But I'm going to tag it with this, that way we can use it with our chat application. So now that it's indexed, I have a tag on it. I'm going to go back over to the chat app function, and we can start asking it questions and sort of learning about what is in there and start looking at, do we see some indicators of compromise with our environment? So you don't have to suffer through me typing. I've got these pre-configured. I'm going to copy paste them in here. But the first question, like a junior analyst would ask, is just, what is this, right? What is this threat actor group? What do they do? Where are they based out of? What are their targets and stuff like that? So we'll just ask it, what is Eclipse Phantom? And it's going to come back with, well, it's a persistent threat actor group based out of Russia, and they target DoD networks. And it'll tell you, what document it found this information in, And if you have multiple different documents, it can search through them and start to correlate information. So now that I know, this is a threat actor group and maybe they're targeting my DoD networks, I want to know a little more information about them and what domains do they operate out of. So I'm going to ask, what domains are associated with this? Do they have any command and control servers or stuff like that? And our threat intelligence document here actually lists a couple. So it pulled it out of that document, and now I can see, they're kind of imitating some DoD maybe domains related. Maybe they're doing some phishing campaigns or something like that. Maybe they're tricking users to go to some of these, different domains. So with that, right, it found it in the same document, and now I want to know, are any of my systems reaching out to these domains? That would be a good first step, right? If I'm looking for some threat actor activity, maybe they've compromised one of my servers and they're reaching out to some of these different domains here. So this is where our agents come into play. The first one I'm going to show you here is our Elastic agent, specifically geared for security onions. So just like Slack or Teams or something like that, you can add these agents within our AI application, and then it just tells the large language model, hey, use this agent and the intelligence you know about it, and then it will speak to these different applications within the kit. So I'm going to add the Elastic agent. I'm going to ask it, do I have any DNS queries to this known bad domain? And then in the background, the Elastic agent has the know-how to connect to Elastic and do the queries for me. So if I'm an analyst and I'm a Splunk guy and I don't know how to use Elastic and Kibana and formulate the queries of these different tools, it'll do it for me. So right now it gave me a link back that links to Kibana. If you're unfamiliar, this is just the visualization part of the Elastic stack. But it did the hard work for me here. So you're going to see in a second that it formulated that query at the top there. It's a little hard to see, but without knowing anything about Elastic, it gave me a query back looking for threat actor activity on a specific domain. So I can actually see here, right, we have 17 hits of times where a host on our network reached out to this domain. So if I look at one of these events here, I can kind of drill down and see some information, know it came from the Zeek log and the DNS log, but really I'm looking for the client IP. So if we notice a trend here, right, I can see this 10.13.93.225 host has reached out a bunch of times. So if I kind of scroll down the list here, I'm seeing, the same host has been reaching out a couple times to this. So this might be, a compromised host. So if I flip back to the LLM chat, now that I know, I actually have seen some of this activity on my network, I can kind of ask it, what ports, protocols, and stuff like that are associated with this threat actor, so I can kind of drill down farther and see, I might have DNS queries, but are any of my hosts have open ports and communicating back to this known bad command and control server over the associated ports that I know from my threat intelligence document. So I'm going to ask it what ports are associated with this threat intelligence group, and then it's going to pull out that same information from the threat intelligence document. So I can see here, right, it's got 3 known ports here, this 31337, 9091, and 15132. So I know there's a couple ports that they're operating on, and now what I really want to know is this host that we found a second ago in Elastic, this 10.13.93.225 host, this client, does it have any of these ports open? And maybe if I'm a junior analyst, maybe I don't know what operating system it's running or where this is located or anything like that. But I do know, I want to know, are those ports open, or is it kind of communicating over these common ports and protocols that this threat actor group is associated with? So I can use now the Nmap agent to kind of query this host and see, does it have any of these ports open? So the Nmap agent on the back end has the intelligence to create a script for me. It's just a basic bash script, but it's going to start querying the information I gave to it, and then look at this host and see, do I have any of these ports open on that specific host? And this is really where the role-based access control comes in. If I'm a junior analyst, maybe I don't want them to be able to execute the script. Maybe they don't have the know-how to kind of generate and check the script. And then, LLMs aren't magical, they make mistakes sometimes, so if a more senior operator can come in, view this script and say, okay, I know what it's doing, it's just reaching out to this one host and these very specific ports, and it's running an Nmap scan. So I can come in here, I can check it, you can say, okay, yes, this is a known good script, it's going to work how I think it's going to work, and I can come in here and then I can execute the script, and then operator X will automatically go out and reach out to this host and do the script language that it just showed me. So from here, right, I can see that this actually has that port open that was associated with it. So one of these 3 ports is open on this, and this is kind of a good indicator of, maybe this host is actually reaching back to this thing. Maybe I have some EDR tools on this host or some network traffic logs or PCAP or stuff like that. And I can kind of drill down farther into the communications and kind of the history of this and really see, is there threat actor activity, and how do we remediate this? So that's kind of where our agents come to end here. We're working on a Suricata agent too, and a Splunk agent as well. But really, we see this tool as kind of a collaborative effort where we're not prescribing what tools you use. Everyone uses different tools. Everyone's trained on different things. What we want to do is be able to integrate with the tools you already use and just empower you to do them faster, or give your junior analysts some opportunity to learn. Because if you go back to the Elastic, they can start learning from these queries or the Nmap script or stuff like that, really breaking them apart and seeing, okay, for next time when I want to look for DNS activity or ports and protocols and stuff, I can look at here and see how did operator X do it, and I can implement it into my own workflow. And then if I have a bunch of these different ones, I can start automating my stuff and just chatting with this application and letting it do the things for me. So in this example, right, maybe we found that this one host was compromised. They're reaching back out to this command and control server, and they're doing malicious things on my domain. So fast forward a little bit, maybe we clean up this host, make sure it's back in a known good state. I can use the Suricata agent if I was using Suricata as an IPS and start blocking these ports so that this host or any of my other hosts won't get compromised again, or if they do, like, they're not going to be able to communicate back with that command and control server. And then you can see here, right, it gives me a Suricata rule, and I can implement that into my infrastructure, and then we're looking to do more things like that with other tools. So really we started with these first four, the Nmap agent, the Elastic agent specifically for how Security Onion deploys it, the Splunk agent, and then the Suricata agents really are big four right now. We're looking to expand out into other tools that our operators use every day. We're looking at things like VMware. So if they say, I need a VM to be able to run this tool, maybe I'm looking for something else, I need like an open source chat application or another threat actor intelligence tool, I can just stand those up and let operator X do the heavy lifting for me. So for a lot of like APIs and stuff, we can integrate with those things. The big picture is being able to let anyone make their own agent. So like say they have like a GOTS tool or something else like classified, you could make your own connector and then start chatting with it all the same, all in a single location. So again, we're really not in the business of telling you what tools to do. We're here to help you use the tools you already have. So we're looking for more use cases for stuff like that, and really kind of pushing how can we empower a warfighter to do the things they're already doing, just quicker, faster, and start teaching our more junior analysts, how can we do these things and how can we be efficient about it. So really that's kind of the end of where my demo is here. We have some other features built in besides like the files. We can create new users. Again, role-based access control we're working on to really give you fine-tuned access. So you can have an admin user, then like junior users and stuff, and really get granular control over what people can do within the application. But we've only been really working this for a year, so we're looking for feedback, use cases, other tools we can integrate, and stuff like that to get this into operators' hands so they can actually use it, test drive it, and then give us feedback so we can help improve the warfighter's mission. So with that, that is all I had for you guys today. Hopefully this is useful to you. We've seen a couple of use cases outside of cyber defense for just automating some like database queries where they don't know the database query language. But we're really looking for it to take this out into more fields, more use cases, integrate with more tools, and kind of build this product up so it's useful for our warfighters. So this is my contact information. SealingTech's available at booth 1302, and tomorrow we're sponsoring coffee, and then if you catch us in the afternoon, we're actually doing Mai Tais at our booth. So that should be a good time. Come on down, get you guys some drinks, and I'd love to chat more about this. My email's up there, and then kind of see where we can take this thing. So thanks, everyone. I think I got about a minute for questions. Yes, sir.
This running in the lab, is it running on an actual portable platform, or is it running in a larger environment?
Yes. So he asked a good question. Where is this running? Where is this demo running? So this is actually running back in our lab in Columbia, Maryland. It's actually running on this system here you see. So we're using an NVIDIA, I believe, A100 in our lab right now. We're integrating the H100s as we can get them, pending availability and stuff like that. but it's actually just running on one of these, and we've taken it out to different shows. I actually have one in our booth, doesn't have a GPU in it, but you can see the actual physical size and form factor in one of our flyaway kit cases. So yeah, it's all running on one specific server. Any other questions? So you asked a question about known limitations. So really we're limited right now to, we have I believe 5 core developers doing this kind of as an R&D project. So we're not exactly selling it yet, but it's also, we're limited on resources for development, so we're kind of looking for funding avenues and more use cases. And then just based on the agent integrations we have right now. So if you're not using security editing or Splunk, we're not really integrating with your SIEM yet, but that's what we're looking for, right? If you're using different tools, we want to know so we can take that back to our team and start integrating more tools into the stack. Yes, sir.
Are there other languages that are supported besides English for the interaction?
So I don't think so. I'd have to chat with our engineers, but right now we've really only tested it in English. But I'm sure we can probably add support.
I know a lot of the LLMs have some of that already built in.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll take that one back. You can chat with my team. It's in the back.
Can you elaborate on hallucination and potential risks with that?
Yeah, so for hallucination for some stuff like this, it's kind of an interesting issue. We haven't run into too much about it, but if you keep asking it the same questions, right, I've seen it spit out bad scripts before, so really we're trying to mitigate that with a lot of training back in our lab to do stuff like that. But for hallucination stuff, it's a concern we're aware of. We just haven't seen it in a production environment yet. So we're really kind of working and treating how we can mitigate those risks as we come.
So you just can you elaborate on what kind of, how you do, how you train?
Yeah, so based on, so we're feeding it kind of like specific files and use cases and really pushing it to chat with our different cyber defense tools. So really they're using that low rank adaptation back in the lab to really hyper-focus specific tools to specific bolt-ons to the overall LLM. But I'd love to set up like a call and chat more with some of our engineers to get things for.
How do you mitigate bias in the language? It's like kind of sort of validation you have.
So I'm not exactly sure how they're doing for eliminating biases right now in terms of our engineers doing the work. I do know they're trying to give it as many kind of use cases and different threat actor groups we've seen and sort of open source intelligence right now to train the models, but that is a good question. Any questions?
Quick question is like, what is your primary training data set comprised of or composed of? Is it real-time documents that are mainly like Office, for example, or are there other like data types?
I think they're primarily training it with Word/PDF stuff for like the threat intelligence reports. I know they've been doing some PowerPoints and really a lot of like manuals. So we fed it a lot of our hardware manuals and getting it to pick out certain pieces of information like how much RAM does this server have, or what is my overall like core count or something for our kit. So it's kind of what we've been training it on, a lot of like text-based stuff. Thank you guys. I'd love to chat more at our booth, or you can send me an email. We can kind of chat about Operator X and some of the use cases.